Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to our Texas Homestead. Today we're going to make some homemade breakfast sausage. Teach you how to do it. Get your own seasonings. Going to make a little bit of spicy, a little bit of mild. And I'll bring you in. I'm going to show you what we're going to use. They're on sale right now for us, so let's bring you down. All right. This is a pork shoulder. It's a whole bone-in shoulder. Got the bone and everything in it. You can see this one's a monster. It's 17.68 pounds. Gonna get it ready and get it deboned and grind it up and make us some sausage. How does that sound? Don't that look good? All right. Come in right over the top of your bone. Slice to the side. Slice to the side. Don't hit any fingers, because if you're using a nice sharp knife, you'll take one off. Just get right above it. I personally like to flip it so I can get right on top of that bone. No, Virgil, you're not getting anybody. And if you notice, the bone does curve. I'm just going to go ahead and take this piece off because we're going to chop it up anyway. Yes, there's still a lot of meat on this bone that I will get out. Okay. Here's first one. And trust me, folks, you're going to need a sharp knife. If you don't have a good sharp knife, invest in one. One good sharp knife makes a kitchen. You don't have to have a ton of them. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. But Victorinox knives, I highly recommend them. I like these better than I do my Dexter knives. I've got two different ones that I use. I have this one, which is a boning knife, and then I've got one that's a breaking knife. Let's go ahead and chop that up one more time. Same here. Fits in the grinder a little better. Looks like a massive, nice pork chop, don't it? And if y'all haven't noticed, anytime we're in the kitchen, there's usually a dog. And for grinders, get you a nice cheap grinder, or if this is something that you plan on doing quite a bit, spend the money and get you a nice one. That's all on you. We're going, after we debone this, we will measure the weight and see how much true weight we actually have. That way we can get our seasonings together. No need to prepare seasonings until you know exactly what you're working with. But I have my seasonings in my head at about 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds per pound of meat. And if you want, you can sit here and scrape this all the way down. It's up to you. For video time, I won't. I will take this extra little chunk and I'll set that to the side and probably get that detrimmed later. All right, got the rest of your meat. You have another bone. It's going to be easier to. All right, now my bone is right here. Always cut a little wide so that way you don't get into a bind and pull too hard and stab yourself. Last thing you want to do is cut yourself. That's why if you ever watch a butcher, they actually wear like chainmail and a stab-proof apron. So, being a little at-home butcher, you got to be careful. That's why I say chop your meat down to where it's sizable for you and be able for you to handle. Don't leave some big giant piece of meat there for you to try to cut down and hurt yourself, because it's easy to do, whether you think so or not. Trying to get over the height of that bone. This one comes to a point. Right here. Okay. Let's come down, follow the bone around. And say with a sharp knife, you can sit here and truly clean this to where there's nothing on it. That's it. You can take your time, get your money's worth. It's up to you. That or this right here would be good in some beans. I know you usually use ham hocks. All right, guys, for seasoning, okay, this is a total of about 12 pounds of meat. Excuse me, until I've been playing with the seasonings. We cut out about 5 pounds worth of between bone and fat. So kind of gives you an idea what you're really paying for when you're buying stuff from a butcher and everything else, or from a grocery store, how much bone and fat you're really getting. So we've got about 12 pounds. I had this set up for 2 pounds, so divide this by 6. So it'd be 6 tablespoons of brown sugar. 2 teaspoons of dried sage, so times 6, be times 12, or 12 of them. Salt, 12 teaspoons of salt. Kosher salt, I want the thicker salt. Oregano. It's a little more, it's a half a teaspoon, so it'd be times 6. Black pepper is, it's 1 teaspoon, so it's total of 6. Red chili flakes. It is a quarter of a teaspoon, so total of 2, or whatever. I've got it right in here. And then we have ground clove, okay? The clove is a pinch of clove, which is a 1/16 of a tablespoon. If you're lucky, you can actually, if you look, you can actually find them. That'll actually say, let's see if I can get that to focus. It may focus, may not. You say pinch, tad, dash. They're actually nice to have, okay? Now, take that. You don't want to add this in with your meat all at once, like individually. You want to go ahead and pre-mix all this before you add it into your meat. Okay? I'm going to bring you over and we're going to grind up this meat real quick. And if you've seen any of my other videos, on how this works, it's a meat grinder. You do not have to spend this kind of money on a meat grinder. This is the Lim Big Bite. It's an expensive meat grinder, but we grind a lot of meat. We do our own sausage. We do our own Italian sausage. I want to have a video on that soon. But if you're going to do this, quite a bit of it for, at any point in time, I recommend getting a good one. Somebody didn't put it back together right. All right, I'll show y'all a little trick. Take some of your vegetable oil, okay? Spray inside. This stops it from getting any heat to it and getting bound up or cooking your meat. Let me get a set of gloves on. Make sure everything's good and tight. I grind it twice. This is a coarse grind, and then I'll come back for a finer grind. right, guys, that was 12 pounds of meat. That quick. Okay. Now, a lot of people won't do a finer grind on their sausages, but some will. I like to, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. Right here, you'll get some fats and stuff that didn't want to go through the machine, which is fine. Stir that up there, and that becomes dog food. All right. I got one awake and one asleep right here. All right, but right here is where I do my seasoning, okay? Try to bend that down without touching it, okay? You see, very nice. It's got a nice fat amount to it. It's got a nice meat amount to it. But now come in with your seasoning. Lightly sprinkle it. Leaving some crushed red peppers in there in the middle, and then mix it. You don't want to just throw it all in. If you do, you're going to get pockets of seasoning. You won't get seasoning all the way around it. Okay. And the smell of all the seasoning smells so good. It seems like a lot of seasoning, but folks, it's not. It's you don't want it to be hit and miss per piece. You want a nice amount of seasoning in each one, and it takes a lot of seasoning to do it. All right, that's all the seasoning. Now, when you grind it up again, guess what? The seasoning gets mixed around again. But you need that. Trust me, you need it. All right. Zena, catch. All right, take your meat, put it back up. This time, since your meat's already been through the machine, you'll need your plunger to push the meat back down. There's no sustenance to, it's not big thick chunks of meat that go through the machine, which go through like nothing. So now you're going to need a plunger, which is this little jewel right here. Now, a lot of the meat that gets trapped here in the front could either be super, super fatty or even have bone in it, okay? Me personally, I don't use this part because if it has any bone shards in it or anything else, I'd rather for it to be trapped, and I really don't want it in my gums. I don't know why. So. Now, we've got all of our lovely meat here. And we're going to get it out. We're going to put some on a cutting board, and then we're going to cut it out and make patties out of it. Okay? So I'll bring you back in a little bit. All right. Now, taking our sausage, put it out here on our workplace. Now we're going to take yes, it is exactly what that is. That is a biscuit cutter. Except for now, when you push down, like when you're doing biscuits, you don't want to seal them. These you want to seal. You want to seal the edges so that way when you get ready to pull it out, you can actually take that nice piece of sausage out and it's pre-done. And you're going to take it, put it on some parchment paper, and you're going to freeze them, and then you can package them up on how you eat them. If you and your family eat 6 pieces of sausage at one time, well, take your vacuum sealer and you make 6 pieces of sausage at one time. If you do 20 pieces, whatever you do, hey, make it. That'll just make it easy, multiples of 10. So, however you want to do it, but let's come in, use a biscuit cutter, and seal them off. Make your own patties. They're already frozen, ready to go. Saves you time. Because you know, like, I hate to say, we had Jimmy Dean sausage tonight. And we actually regretted it because it was just not good. But we left it out a little too long to cut correctly. Well, doing my own, it's going to be cut correctly already. I don't have to worry about that. You know, when it gets too soft after you get it out of the freezer, it's hard to cut. And this is seasoned more like we like it, not how they make it for everybody. So, I'll get the rest of these cut out and see you back here in a little while. Well, maybe we even have a little taste test. What do you think? You want to be here for a taste test? I do. Because this is going to be good. See you back in a little bit. Alright guys, we got 52 patties out of that. Counting the 3 we're frying up right now. And we'll let you know how those turn out here in a little bit. Alright guys, done with the sausage. Here's one piece of it that they're letting me get a hold of. And I even have to share this one. I don't know about y'all, but I like mine nice and dark on the outside. To me, it just adds more flavor. My dogs are chasing one of my kids around because they want some sausage. Well, hot. That's actually really good. Actually, I could actually taste it. It wasn't just the heat from the hotness, the lava. No, that's really good, guys. Be sure you try out the recipe. If you don't want as much spice in it, take out your crushed red peppers or cut them down. That's the only thing I can tell you spice-wise. Everything else in it's not going to make it spicy. Not even that much black pepper with how much meat that is. So you figure 2 pounds of meat with a regular amount of black pepper is perfect. I will put the 2-pound recipe in the description. So that way you've got it and y'all can adjust it from there with whatever meat, however much meat you use. Hope you enjoyed the recipe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Be sure you like and subscribe too.